Greetings, I'm Kurt. I live in California, and because it's the eve of the election, I thought I'd make a not so quick video on why I think anyone who's still undecided or able to be convinced otherwise to vote no on Proposition 8. How will I do this? I'm going to rebuttal against the three major arguments those in favor of Proposition 8 have. The first being is that if gay marriages continue to be legal, that it will be taught to their children in school. The second is that if gay marriage continues to be legal, that it will infringe on their religious freedom. And thirdly, the passing of Proposition 8 would reestablish traditional marriage, or it'll fix what was done wrong, apparently. Alright. The matter on gay marriage being taught in schools was brought to my attention by a Vote Yes on Prop 8 commercial where this lady showed a clip of two parents who lived in Massachusetts, another state that legalized gay marriage, and they talked about how their child came home from school, he's in 2nd grade, and said, "Hey, I learned that gays can get married." Okay, I have two things to say about this. One, was the child told a lie? No. In Massachusetts, gay couples can get married. So there's no reasonable argument these parents have against that school for telling their children a fact. It was a fact. Gays can get married in Massachusetts. The second thing is a comment on common sense. Do these parents honestly believe that their 7 or 8-year-old will hold on to this fact for 10 years or more and get married to someone of the opposite sex just because they can, not because out of love or anything else, just because, hey, back in 2nd grade I was told I could get married to another boy or another girl? To honestly believe that that child would live his entire life off of that one thing a teacher told him, it's enough said. Alright. On religious freedom, I don't know much on the subject, except for the assumption that this would mean that those who perform a marriage ceremony, namely priests are the common denominator, that they would have to perform the marriage ceremony for a gay couple, and it's their teachings that say being gay is a sin, and if they perform a marriage ceremony, they themselves are promoting sin, or they're committing a sin themselves. I've heard there are quotes in the Bible saying that it is a sin to be gay, and again, I'll assume this is true, seeing as how so many people storm the streets in a frenzy with signs saying God hates fags, etc., etc. Well, I've also heard that there are priests that are gay themselves or are perfectly willing to perform a marriage ceremony for a gay couple. And there are also city employees that are perfectly happy to do it. It's their job to do it. So, if priests that don't want to perform marriage ceremony, that's less business for them. It's more business for those who are perfectly willing to do it. I don't believe that legalizing gay marriage forces any priest to perform any marriage ceremony. I mean, it's part of their job description, I guess. The church sets a date or something for a couple to get married, and whichever priest is on duty that day, I don't know. if the church really wants to be an asshole and say, no, you can't get married here, that does suck for the couple, but, you know, they can always get married somewhere else, I guess. I mean, it does suck for them, but, you know, that says a lot about the church rather than anyone else. My big beef with the proponents of Proposition 8 is this argument that somehow keeping gay marriage legal will defile the sanctity of marriage. This rule that marriage is only between a man and a woman seems to be the only rule, and it's these same people that say this rule should be written in the Constitution that just decades ago, just like 1980s or even earlier, I suppose, that they fought against interracial marriage or any relations between two different races. And then even further back, these are the same people that used marriage as a tool to secure power and influence by marrying off their daughters who barely passed the age of 15, maybe 12 or 10-year-olds, were married off to 20 to 30-year-old men who they never met. These are the same people that want to protect marriage, that used it to their advantage, who didn't care about love, which this is, I mean, you can't really describe love, but that's what this issue is about. Marriage is a man-made concept. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was created by religious organizations, but a lot has happened in history where the individual, you know, the Enlightenment age, the Renaissance, the individual was empowered. The church does not have say anymore, and for them to try to gain that power back is just absurd. They had their time. They should not dictate anything anymore. The church has its role. It is not in law. Well, that was my argument for any undecided voters in California out there that are going to vote tomorrow, like me. I haven't voted yet. I'm going to on election day. I really don't think I'm going to convince anyone that has already made up their mind to vote yes on Proposition 8, so this video is mostly directed to undecided voters who do see this as discrimination and as church influence on the government. So I hope you vote tomorrow, or that if you're in California and you already cast your ballot early, that you voted no on Proposition 8. Oh, I would also like to close, this is one of the other issues I've been having. This doesn't have to deal with those who support Proposition 8. This actually has to deal with people who don't support Proposition 8. I have beef with them too. One of their arguments is, no matter how you feel on marriage, vote no on Proposition 8 because it's a discrimination and law shouldn't discriminate. Okay, this touches on the important issue that law should not discriminate. That's great. But what it does is it still allows for people to discriminate in their private life. No, I'm all for free speech, I guess this would fall under, but to still say that a marriage between a gay couple is worth less or less real than a straight couple's marriage is blatant arrogance and discrimination. What makes a straight couple's love different than a gay couple's? Well, I guess this would fall under the absurdly continuing debate whether being gay is a choice or you're born with it. Obviously, I believe you're born gay. I don't believe it's unnatural to be gay.